Leah, you're still awake? I asked, standing in the doorway of our bedroom. The glow from her phone lit up her face in the dark. She flinched slightly, then smiled. Yeah, just checking some emails from work. Go to sleep. I'll be there. Soon, I nodded, though something inside me stirred. It's almost midnight. Don't push yourself too hard. I won't, she said quickly, eyes darting back to her screen. I lingered a second longer before turning off the light in the hall. For years, I believed her without question. She was my wife, my partner, the one I trusted more than anyone. Why wouldn't I? But lately, small cracks had been showing. The next morning, I poured coffee into 2 mugs. Big day today? I asked, sliding hers across the counter. She grabbed it with a tired smile. Meeting with the director, you know how it is. You've been busy a lot these days, I said, testing the waters. Career growth, remember? You told me to chase it. Her tone was light, but I felt the distance between us like a wall. I tried to laugh it off. Yeah, I did. Later that day, I met Victor for lunch. He slapped me on the shoulder as we sat down. You look like you haven't slept in days. Leah's working late. I just worry about her, I admitted. Victor leaned forward. You ever notice how she's always on her phone? I mean, I don't want to stir trouble, but she's ambitious. I cut in, defensive. She's just focused. He sighed. I'm just saying, sometimes you miss things when you love someone too much. I forced a laugh, brushing it aside, but his words stuck. That night, I came home earlier than usual. Leah was already there, sitting on the couch, typing furiously. Hey, I said softly. She jumped. Oh, I didn't hear you. What are you working on? Presentation for tomorrow, she said quickly, locking her phone and placing it face down. Want help? I offered. No, it's fine, she replied a little too fast. Just go shower. I'll join you for dinner in a bit. I hesitated. Leah, are we okay? She finally looked at me. Her smile was small, controlled. Of course we are. Why would you ask that? I don't know, I admitted. You've just been different. She leaned over and kissed my cheek. You overthink. I love you. Okay, stop doubting that. I wanted to believe her. I told myself I was being paranoid, that Victor was wrong. But late at night when she thought I was asleep, I heard the faint buzz of her phone and the quiet laughter she tried to hide under. Her breath. The next weekend, we went grocery shopping together. At the checkout, she realized she'd forgotten her wallet. I'll grab it from the car, I offered. Jogging out to the parking lot, her purse sat on the passenger seat. I reached in, and that's when I noticed a folded hotel receipt sticking out of her wallet. My heart pounded as I opened it. The date was 2 weeks ago. The room was for 2 people. When I walked back inside, Leah smiled like nothing had happened. Thanks, love. I handed her the wallet, my palms sweating. No problem. The drive home was silent. Later, as she showered, I sat on the edge of the bed, scrolling through her unlocked phone. My chest tightened as I read the messages. Can't wait to see you again. Last night was perfect. He doesn't suspect anything. I dropped the phone, my vision blurring. The woman I trusted, the woman I built my dreams around, had betrayed me. When she stepped out of the shower, towel around her, she noticed my expression. What's wrong? I held up her phone. Who is he, Leah? Her face froze. What are you talking about? These messages, the hotel receipt, don't lie to me. My voice shook with rage and disbelief. She took a step forward, then stopped. You shouldn't have looked through my phone. That's your answer? I asked, my voice breaking. She crossed her arms, defensive. You're imagining things. He's just a colleague. You always get jealous of my work. Jealous? I laughed bitterly. You're meeting him at hotels, Leah. Tell me how that's work. Her eyes flickered, just for a second, but it was enough. I felt like the ground had been ripped from beneath me. Say something, I demanded. She turned away. You're being paranoid. If you keep acting like this, you'll drive me away. I clenched my fists, fighting back tears. You already left me. You just didn't bother telling me. For the first time, she didn't answer. Silence filled the room, heavier than any words. The next day, I met Victor again. He noticed my pale face. You found something, didn't you? I nodded. Messages. Hotel receipt. It's true. He cursed under his breath. I'm so sorry, man. I stared at the table between us. She looked me in the eye and lied. I don't even know who I married anymore. Victor put his hand on mine. Listen, don't let her break you. You're stronger than this. But in that moment, I didn't. Feel strong. I felt hollow. When I got home that night, Leah was in the kitchen. She looked at me, searching my face. Are you going to say anything? I shook my head. Not tonight. She frowned. You can't just sulk forever. I'm not sulking, I whispered. I'm watching. Her eyes narrowed, but she said nothing. As I lay in bed, my mind replayed every moment of our marriage. Every smile, every kiss, every promise. Were they all lies? The image of the hotel receipt burned in my mind. The words on her phone echoed in my ears. I thought of Victor's warning. Sometimes you miss things when you love someone too much. Was right. I missed it all, but I wouldn't miss the truth anymore. I didn't sleep that night. Every time I closed my eyes, her face appeared, smiling at me while texting him, laughing at jokes I would never hear. I tossed and turned, replaying moments I thought were ours. When the sun finally bled through the blinds, I heard the shower turn on. I stayed in bed, staring at the ceiling, trying to figure out how everything had fallen apart. Morning, Leah called, voice deceptively cheerful. Morning, I muttered, my voice tight. She stepped out, towel wrapped around her, hair damp. You look terrible. Did you even sleep? Not really. I pushed myself off the bed. I can't stop thinking, Leah. How long has this been going on? Her eyes flicked toward the floor. What are you talking about? I grabbed her wrist. Don't! Play games, the messages, the hotel receipt. You lied to me. She pulled her hand away. You're imagining things. You always get so jealous. I don't know why you can't trust me. Jealous? I laughed bitterly. Jealous? I have proof. Proof that you've been sneaking around behind my back. You're acting crazy, she snapped. I can't even... She trailed off, eyes narrowing. You're overreacting because you're insecure. You always think the worst. I felt my chest tighten. Insecure? Leah, do you know what it feels like to find out your entire life, everything you believed was a lie? To know the person you trusted the most? I said you're overreacting. She interrupted, her voice sharp, almost offensive. I turned away, pacing the room. Victor was right. I missed the signs. I didn't want to see them, and now my voice cracked. Now I don't even know who I married. She crossed her arms. You've always been dramatic. You blow things out of proportion. I spun around, fist clenched. Dramatic? I caught you cheating, Leah. How is that dramatic? She laughed, a short, cold laugh. You make it sound like it's all my fault. Maybe I needed more attention, more excitement. Is that so wrong? I sank into the chair, head in my hands. More attention? You chose him. You chose to lie and deceive me. You're so controlling, she said softly, almost mockingly. You think everything is black and white. Life isn't that simple. I glared at her. Simple? You're the one who made it simple. You wanted him, not me. You thought you could hide it. Leah shook her head. You're paranoid. Stop accusing me of things that aren't true. I'm tired of this constant questioning. I swallowed the lump in my throat. It is true, Leah. I saw the messages. I saw the receipt. I know it's true. Admit it. She looked away, her jaw tight. Maybe you saw some messages out of context. Out of context? I yelled, voice echoing in the apartment. They're explicit. Dates, times, places. Do you think I wouldn't notice? You're insane, she whispered. You've changed. You're not the man I married. I'm not the man you married, I repeated, disbelief cutting through me. You're the one who cheated, who lied. You're not the woman I married. She rolled her eyes. Stop yelling. You're embarrassing yourself. People will think you're losing it. I rubbed my face, trying to calm down. Victor told me I'd miss things because I loved too much. He was right. I ignored everything, and now... My voice faltered. Now I feel like I've been living a lie. Leah crossed her arms again. You're twisting everything. Maybe you're the problem. Maybe if you paid more attention, I wouldn't have felt so distant. I shook my head, disbelief turning to anger. You're serious? You're blaming me for your affair. Her lips tightened. I'm saying maybe you're too rigid, too predictable, too safe. I clenched my jaw. Predictable? I gave you everything. Love, trust, a home, and you threw it away for excitement? Excitement isn't the issue, she snapped. You'll never understand. I stood abruptly. You're right. I don't understand how someone I loved could destroy me from the inside. I don't understand how you could lie while looking me in the eye. She tilted her head, a faint smirk tugging at her lips. Maybe that's because you're too weak to see the truth. Maybe I needed more than you could give. I felt like the floor had dropped from beneath me. More than me? You had me. You had everything I could offer, and you still chose betrayal. Leah's eyes hardened. Stop blaming me for your insecurities. If you're unhappy, it's your fault, not mine. I shook my head. No, this isn't about me being insecure. It's about trust. And you broke it. She laughed softly. Trust is a fragile thing, isn't it? I felt tears sting my eyes, though I refused to let them fall. You broke more than trust. You broke me. You made me question everything. My judgment, my love, my worth. Her expression softened, but it was too late for softness. Maybe you were too naive. Maybe you never saw the signs. I sat down heavily, running my hands over my face. I saw them too late. And now, my voice was low, almost a whisper. Now I have to figure out how to survive the aftermath of someone I thought I could trust. That evening, Marta called. You sound terrible, she said, voice trembling. I found out she's been seeing someone, I admitted. Hotel receipts, messages, everything. Marta gasped. Oh my God, are you okay? I shook my head. I don't know what okay even means anymore. Listen, she said firmly. You can't let this break you. You have to stay strong. You're better than she thinks you are. I feel like I'm nothing, I whispered. No, she said sharply. You're everything. You just need to see it for yourself. Don't let her ruin you completely. I sat in silence after the call, staring at the ceiling. She had tried to destroy me, and she nearly had. But something inside me shifted. Victor texted me later. Don't fall apart. You've got this. Trust me, I read it over and over. I had to believe him. I couldn't collapse. Not now. Not ever again. The next morning, I confronted Adrian at the coffee shop. He looked up, surprised. Hey man, what's going on? You know why I'm here, I said, voice low and steady. Adrian raised an eyebrow. I have no idea what you're talking about. Don't play dumb, I said. You're the one she's been seeing. He smirked. I don't know what. You mean Leah and I are colleagues? That's it. I leaned forward, meeting his eyes. Colleagues don't meet at hotels. Colleagues don't lie to the people they claim to love. I know everything. His smirk faltered. You're crazy, man. Am I? I asked softly. You think this is a joke. You think you can hide what you did. He looked down, avoiding my gaze. I didn't. You did, I said, cutting him off. And you'll face the consequences. Just like her. You both will. When I left, I felt a strange mix of rage and resolve. She tried to destroy me with lies, with betrayal. With him. But I wasn't done yet. I sat in my apartment later, staring at the hotel receipt again. My hands trembled, but my mind was clear. If she thought she could destroy me, she was wrong. I whispered to the empty room, if you tried to ruin me, Leah, I'll make sure your mask falls first. I repeated it over and over. My vow settled in my chest, cold and steady. I was done being a victim. I watched Leah from the couch, pretending to scroll through my phone as she laughed at something in the living room. The sound should have been comforting, but it made my chest tighten. Why are you staring at me like that? She asked, turning toward me with that polished smile I used to melt for. Just thinking, I said, voice calm, hiding the storm inside. Leah tilted her head. About work. About us, I said softly. She blinked, like she hadn't expected that answer. Us? Everything's fine, isn't it? Yes, everything's fine, I replied, nodding. I just appreciate how much effort you put into keeping us together. Her eyes flickered briefly, a shadow I knew too well. She smiled again, and I forced myself to smile back. Inside, I was calculating, observing, noting every hesitation, every guilty glance. Later, I met Marta at our usual cafe. You're quiet, she said, stirring her coffee. I have to be, I said. I'm collecting information. Information? She asked, frowning. Evidence, I corrected. I can't confront her without knowing everything. Marta's eyes widened. Are you serious? You're going to dig? Yes, I said firmly. I have to. I need to know how deep this goes. I can't let her ruin me without fighting back. Marta sighed. Just don't lose yourself in the process. You're still you. Don't forget that. I won't, I promised, though a part of me wondered if she was right. Every day felt like a battle between anger and heartbreak. Trust and suspicion. Back at home, Leah was preparing dinner, humming. She looked radiant in the kitchen light, and for a second, I remembered why I loved her. Dinner smells good, I said, trying to sound normal. Thanks, she said, glancing at me with a soft smile. I've been trying new recipes. Thought it might cheer you up. Cheer me up? I asked, leaning against the counter. I'm fine, really. You don't sound fine, she said, eyes narrowing slightly. I shrugged. Just tired from work. She nodded, but her expression betrayed her. I noticed the way she hesitated. Before she stirred the sauce, a small flicker of guilt she thought I wouldn't see. That evening, Victor called. How's it going? He asked. Leah's acting normal, I said. But I see the cracks. I know she's hiding something. Good, he said. Just don't push too hard. You need patience, not rage. I know, I said. I'll play along until I have everything I need. Victor was quiet for a moment. Just remember, the line between patience and obsession is thin. Don't cross it. I won't, I promised. The next day, I visited Adrian's office under the guise of asking about a work collaboration. He looked up, grinning. Hey, how's it going? Good, I said casually. Listen, Adrian, can we talk somewhere private? He raised an eyebrow. Sure, conference room? Once the door closed, I leaned in slightly. I know about you and Leah. Adrian blinked, startled. What? How? I don't need to explain that, I said, voice calm but firm. What I do need is for you to understand something. Your little secret won't stay hidden. Not from me, not from anyone who matters. Keep that in mind. He swallowed hard, trying to regain composure. You're serious? Dead serious, I said. Don't make me regret trusting you to keep quiet. He nodded quickly, his bravado slipping. I left, feeling a rush of satisfaction, but the weight in my chest reminded me this was only the beginning. Later, I met Clara, our neighbor by the mailbox. Hi, she chirped. You won't believe what I saw today. Leah was laughing with some guy outside work, very close. Close? I asked, keeping my tone light. Yes. But don't tell anyone I said anything, she added quickly, noticing my sharp glance. Of course, I said, hiding my smile. Every little detail she shared was another piece of the puzzle. That evening, Leah returned home in her usual perfect outfit, smiling. You'll never guess what my boss said today. I leaned back on the sofa, pretending to be distracted by my laptop. What? She thinks my presentation was amazing. I might get a promotion soon, she said, eyes gleaming. That's great, I said, keeping my tone neutral. I'm proud of you. She walked past me, then paused, looking down at the floor. You've been quiet lately. Just focused, I said, watching her. Every movement, every hesitation was a clue. I spent the next few days meticulously gathering proof. I took photos of suspicious text notifications, cross-referenced work schedules, and saved copies of every message that could matter. Leah's confident public facade remained, but I was starting to see the cracks only I could notice. One night while she slept, I reviewed the evidence on my laptop. The strings connecting dates, locations, and messages were undeniable. I could feel a plan forming, a way to finally turn the tables. The next morning, Marta called. Are you okay? She asked. I'm better, I said. I know what I have to do. I'm going to expose everything, but carefully. You're sure? She asked, her voice soft. This could get messy. I know, I said, but I can't let her manipulate me anymore. Not after everything she's done. That evening, I tried subtle questioning. Leah, what time did you leave work yesterday? She glanced up from her tablet. Why? Planning to follow me? Just curious, I said casually. I'm trying to keep track of my own schedule. Her eyes narrowed slightly, but she answered. Left at 6, why? Nothing, I said, just checking. She went back to her tablet and I noted the brief pause, the flicker of something like guilt crossing her face. Victor called later. How's it going? Good, I said. I'm collecting proof, little by little. Patience is key. Be careful, he warned. She's manipulative. She won't go down without a fight. I know, I said, but I'm ready for her. I can't let her ruin my life anymore. That night, Leah fell asleep while reading. I watched her for a moment. The woman I thought I knew, so different from reality. I remembered every smile, every touch, every word she used to deceive me. I whispered to myself, if she thinks she can leave and ruin me, she's wrong. She won't get away with this. The following day, I went to Leah's office under the guise of dropping off some documents. I greeted her boss politely, pretending to be oblivious. Her boss raised an eyebrow. You're here early. Yes, I said casually. Just wanted to check on some paperwork. Leah appeared from her office, smiling. I watched her, noting the tiny tremor in her hands, the slight hesitation in her step. She was acting normal, but she was unraveling, and I could see it. Later, over coffee with Victor, I whispered, I confronted Adrian. He's nervous now. He knows I know. Good, Victor said. Keep it steady. Don't reveal everything. Yet. Let them hang themselves with their own lies. I will, I said. I'm playing the long game. Leah won't see it coming. That evening, Clara waved at me from the hallway. You know, she seems distracted lately, not her usual self. I nodded, hiding my grin. Yeah, I noticed. She smiled and walked off, oblivious to how valuable her observation was. As I sat alone, reviewing every piece of evidence, I realized the affair was deeper than I thought. Leah had planned this carefully. Every lie, every deception, it wasn't random. She intended to leave me, to ruin my reputation while pretending everything was fine. I clenched my fists. Not if I can help it, I whispered. Not if I can stop her. For the first time since discovering the betrayal, I felt control. The mask she wore for everyone else was slipping. Soon everyone would see the truth. And when that happened, I would be ready. I sat at my desk, the laptop open, my fingers hovering over the keyboard. Everything had to be precise. One wrong move, one loose thread, and Leah could slip away again. Are you sure about this? Marta's voice came over the phone. I am, I said calmly. I've collected everything. The messages, the hotel receipts, the timelines. It's all here. You're not going too far, she asked, worry thick in her voice. No, I said firmly. I'm exposing the truth. She deserves this. I deserve closure. I don't want to see you lose yourself, Marta said softly. I'm not losing myself, I replied. I'm finally finding the man she thought she could destroy. Ended the call and took a deep breath. The first step was sending anonymous tips to her workplace. Carefully worded emails, screenshots attached, and detailed logs of her affair. Every piece would hit where it hurt the most. Her reputation. The next morning, I got a call from Victor. How's she reacting? I haven't contacted her directly. I said, I'm letting the pieces fall naturally. Her boss will be the first domino. Good, he said. Just don't let satisfaction blind you. Stay steady. I will, I promised. By noon, whispers were spreading. I saw it in the subtle glances, the quick smirks exchanged by her colleagues. Leah walked into the office, radiant as ever on the outside, but I knew better. I could see it, an imperceptible tightening of her jaw, the flicker of panic in her eyes. Later, I watched as her boss, Mr. Reynolds, called her into his office. I could hear their voices muffled through the open window. Leah, care to explain these? His voice was calm but firm. Leah's reply was defensive. I don't know what you mean. That's not... I have emails, messages, receipts. The evidence is undeniable. He interrupted. It's a misunderstanding, she insisted, but her voice trembled. You've misled everyone here. Not just me, Mr. Reynolds said quietly. This is serious. I could see her faltering. From my vantage point, each word, each pause was a dagger. When she stepped out of the office, her face was pale. Adrian was nearby, pretending to work, but I caught his eye. He didn't meet it for long. The guilt was written across his face. Adrian, I whispered. As I walked past, remember what I told you? He nodded slightly, avoiding my gaze. That small gesture was enough. He knew the truth would come out for him, too. Later that day, Nora, Leah's rival, cornered her near the coffee machine. I watched, hidden, as the conversation unfolded. You're in deep, Leah, Nora said, smirking. The rumors are everywhere. People are talking. Leah's face tightened. It's not what you think, she said quickly. Oh, I think it is, Nora replied, eyes gleaming. Funny how secrets always have a way of surfacing. Leah turned, her smile forced, walking away quickly. I could almost hear the mask cracking. That evening, I received texts from multiple colleagues with questions about her sudden change, her secretive behavior. I stayed quiet, letting the whispers reach her naturally. At home, I could hear Leah pacing. "Why is everyone staring at me?" she demanded. "Maybe they just admire your work," I said casually, not looking up from my laptop. "Don't mock me," she snapped. "People are talking. They know." "I'm sorry," I said softly. "Didn't realize it bothered you so much." Her hands trembled as she folded her arms. I can't control this. Everything's falling apart." "I know," I said quietly. "But it's your own doing." She froze. You did this." "I didn't do anything," I said, keeping my tone calm. "I just let the truth come out. You destroyed your own image." Her eyes filled with tears, but she blinked them back. I can fix this. I can explain." "Explain what?" I asked. "Explain that you lied to me, cheated on me, and manipulated everyone around you?" Her lips quivered. I didn't mean, you didn't mean to betray me," I said. "You didn't mean to ruin everything we had." She turned away, voice breaking. I panicked. I didn't know how to stop it. I didn't know how to... "You already destroyed me first," I said softly, watching her crumble. Her knees buckled and she sank to the floor, crying openly. "Please, don't ruin me completely. I'll do anything. Just don't destroy me entirely." I knelt beside her, keeping my voice even. "You destroyed yourself the moment you chose betrayal over love." She looked up at me, eyes red and pleading. I love you. I made a mistake, but..." "You made a choice," I interrupted. "A choice to cheat, to lie, to manipulate. That choice can't be undone." I'm sorry," she whispered. "No," I said, rising. "But sorry doesn't fix trust. Sorry doesn't fix the life you broke." Adrian tried calling her, his face tense. She ignored him, tears streaming down her cheeks. I could see him backing off, knowing the consequences were his as well. Days passed, and the gossip spread throughout the office and our town. Every smile Leah forced, every casual nod, was a mask she could no longer maintain. Her perfect image had shattered. Victor called late one night. "You did it," he said, voice awed. "She's facing the truth. It's working." "I know," I said quietly. "But I feel guilty. Did I go too far?" "You exposed the truth," he said firmly. "This wasn't about revenge. This was about justice." "I hope so," I whispered. That night, Leah confronted me at home, voice trembling. Why did you do all of this? You could have confronted me, talked it out. Why destroy me?" "I didn't destroy you," I said. Softly, "You did that yourself. I just showed everyone what was already true." Tears ran down her face. I can't face anyone. Everyone knows. My career, my friends, my reputation, gone. "Not gone," I said. "Revealed. You had your chance to be honest. You chose deceit." Her voice dropped to a whisper. I loved you, but I ruined everything. Please, I can't survive this." "You'll survive," I said quietly. "Oh, but you'll have to live with the choices you made. I won't pretend they didn't happen." She sank to the floor, sobbing. "Please, I'm begging you, don't finish me completely." I crouched near her, keeping my tone gentle but firm. "You already finished me first. I just survived it. That's the difference between us." She looked up at me, eyes red and desperate. I never wanted this. I never wanted to hurt you." "Did," I said softly, "and now you'll have to face that, alone." The next few days were quiet. Leah avoided me at home and work. Adrian kept his distance. Nora whispered stories at the office, enjoying every moment of Leah's downfall. I spent my time reflecting, realizing that exposing her wasn't about vengeance anymore. It was about reclaiming my life, my self-respect, and the trust I once thought she deserved. Every text, every screenshot, every photo I had collected had served its purpose. Leah's perfect mask was gone, and the reality was laid bare for everyone. And through it all, I kept repeating it to myself, a mantra to stay grounded. I survived. She tried to destroy me, but I turned the tables. For the first time in weeks, I felt a sense of calm. Justice had a taste, and it was bittersweet. I whispered to the empty house that night, "If you tried to ruin me, Leah, you failed completely." The morning felt heavy, like the air itself knew what was coming. Leah hadn't spoken to me since the confrontation, and the house was eerily quiet. I sipped my coffee slowly, staring out the window, thinking about everything that had happened. You ready? Marta's voice came softly over the phone. I think so, I said. It's time to see this through. Time to let her face the consequences fully. You've been so patient, she said. I just hope you can still be yourself after all this. I will, I promised. I have to be. For me. Victor called a few minutes later. You sure you're ready for today? I'm ready, I said firmly. Everything I've done was necessary. I just hope it's enough. By mid-morning, the whispers at Leah's office had become a torrent. I received messages from colleagues confirming that her boss had called her in multiple times, reprimanding her and reviewing the leaked evidence I had supplied. She's being confronted, Victor said, everywhere. It's unfolding exactly as planned. Good, I said, my stomach twisting with a mix of satisfaction and unease. I just don't want to enjoy this too much. It's not about revenge anymore. Victor was quiet for a moment. It's hard not to, but remember why you're doing this. I know, I said. It's about reclaiming my life, not hurting her. By noon, I received a call from Leah. Her voice trembled. Please, can we talk? Just you and me. I exhaled slowly. Fine, where? Home, she said. I need to explain. I hung up, feeling a mixture of dread and resolve. When she arrived, her hair was messy, her makeup smudged, and her eyes red from crying. She looked smaller somehow, broken, in a way I hadn't seen before. She started, voice shaking. You admitted it, I said, cutting her off. You know the affair, the lies, everything. You don't need to explain to me anymore. Her hand shook as she clutched a small box. I brought these. I thought maybe it could help to show I regret it. I took a deep breath. Regret doesn't erase what you did, Leah. You can't undo it. I know, she whispered, tears falling freely. I never meant to destroy you. I was selfish, weak. I was everything you didn't deserve. You were, I said. Quietly, and now you have to face it, alone. Adrian had already started distancing himself. I saw him from my car outside, walking away from the office, head down. He didn't even glance back. I felt a twinge of pity. He had made his choice, and now he had to live with it. Leah sank to the sofa, burying her face in her hands. I can't face anyone, she sobbed. You can face yourself, I said. It's all you have left. That's the truth you need to live with. She looked up, pleading. Please, I know I ruined everything, but I loved you. Can't we fix this? I shook my head slowly. Love doesn't undo betrayal, Leah. Forgiveness doesn't mean reunion. I won't pretend everything is fine again. We can't go back. Tears streamed down her face. I was wrong. Everything. Please, just tell me I'm not completely lost. You're lost, I said softly, but you're not beyond. Survival, you'll live, but the consequences are yours alone. The next few hours were filled with phone calls, messages, and whispers. The town knew now. Her colleagues avoided her. Conversations stopped when she walked in, and the whispers at the grocery store felt like daggers. I stayed silent, watching her unravel, feeling a strange mixture of triumph and emptiness. Victor came by later. How? Are you holding up? He asked, sipping his coffee. I'm okay, I said. Better than I expected. I didn't want revenge, but watching her face the truth, it's necessary, and now I can breathe a little. You've done everything, right? He said. You protected yourself and you exposed the truth. That's all that matters. I know, I said, but I feel hollow. It's not satisfaction anymore. It's closure, I guess. Marta arrived shortly after. She hugged me tightly. You're finally free, she said. No more lies, no more betrayal. I am free, I said softly, but it doesn't erase the pain. I'll carry it with me, but I can move forward now. Leah finally spoke again, quieter this time. I'm so sorry for everything. I deserve this and I know it, but please, don't let my mistakes destroy you completely. You destroyed me first, I said, keeping my voice calm but firm. I survived. That's the difference. She looked down, tears falling silently. I'll live with what I've done. Every day, I promise. I hope you do, I said softly, because that's all you have left. Days later, the fallout continued. Adrian had vanished from her life completely, leaving her to face the ruin she had orchestrated. Nora, her rival, seemed to delight in every misstep Leah made, whispering to colleagues and spreading stories that made her spiral further. I stayed. distant, observing from a careful distance. It wasn't cruelty, it was justice. The consequences had been set in motion, and now they were inevitable. At home, I packed a bag. The house we once shared was filled with memories, both good and terrible. I touched the photos on the wall, memories of a life that had been beautiful until deceit shattered it. Victor came by to help. "You sure you want to leave?" he asked gently. "Yes," I said. "I can't stay here. Too many reminders. Too much of her." Marta hugged me again. "I'll miss you here, but I'm proud of you. You survived, and you're moving forward." "I'm moving forward," I said, "and I won't look back." Before leaving, I glanced at Leah. She was sitting on the sofa, staring blankly at the floor. The woman I once knew, the life I once believed in, it was gone. Her tears were silent, her regret palpable, but there was no redemption left for her. "With me," I whispered quietly, more to myself than to anyone else. "She tried to destroy me, but I survived, and she'll have to live with what she's done." The drive away from the house was calm. No anger, no longing, just clarity. I could feel the weight lifting off my shoulders, a sense of liberation I hadn't known in months. Victor called. "One last time." "How do you feel? Alive?" I said. "Empty, but alive, free. It's strange, feeling this lightness after all the darkness." "You earned it," he said. "Now live your life. Don't let the past haunt you anymore." "I won't," I promised. Marta texted me later. A simple message. "You're stronger than ever. Keep going." I smiled, letting it settle in. Strength wasn't about denying the pain. It was about moving forward despite it. Leah's ruin was complete, but mine was not. I had reclaimed my life, piece by piece. The betrayal had broken me, but it had also rebuilt me stronger, wiser, more resilient. The road ahead was uncertain, but for the first time, I felt ready to meet it on my own terms, without fear, without doubt. And as the sun dipped below, "The horizon," I whispered once more to the empty space in the car, the house fading behind me. "She tried to destroy me, but I survived, and I will thrive. She'll live with the consequences forever."